Now we just wait. Welcome to It Gets Better. I am your host, Ed, and I'm gonna be teaching a class. It's gonna be pretty exciting because you'll get to learn in time. You'll be able to ask questions in real time, and it's only $5 a month. $5 a month, and if I can do it, it'll be a daily class. You'll be able to either follow along in real time or just watch. Hey, how's it going? I'm talking about my class. I'm going to be teaching a class starting April the 1st. I'm going to be sharing some things that I've learned over the years about how to affect. I remember you, Badam. Is that how it's pronounced? People would say, yeah. So I'm pretty excited about it. On April the 1st, I'll be starting my class. It's $2 a month. You'll be able to pay through the link in the description. In fact, I'll zero it down. Yes, yes. Yes, yes. So I'm going to be, that's what I'll be doing, and it'll be pretty fun. It's funny. What is funny? What's funny? Share it with me. So, Badam, where are you from? That's what I like to ask, where people are from, what country, what part of the world. Also, what time it is. I'm going to try to do different time zones. Okay. Welcome. Are you a subscriber? Did you just happen to stumble onto this video? Some people just click on, and that's the first they see of me. Oh, it's 7 p.m. Here it's 11 o'clock. It's 11 o'clock here. Hello. Oh, welcome from India. Well, that's cool. Like I was saying earlier, already subscribed. All right. So you're part of the group. I'm going to be teaching a class pretty soon on April 1st. Oh, it's 8:50 or 8:50 p.m. here. Oh, okay. Here it's only 11 o'clock. So I'm getting busy here. Starting my random screen or my random stream. Well, thank you. Live. We are live. So we'll see how this class goes. You'll be able to catch up, if you missed any parts of the class. We'll be able to talk about things that are talk about how to improve on our skills, learning and skills. But today is just a loose day. It's just the day we're going to have fun. I guess chillax. Everybody needs to unwind once in a while. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm almost at 1,000 subscribers. And then I'll be able to start making money at this. I'll be a professional YouTuber. views. That's right. That's what we live off of. Views. How many people are checking us out when we make these streams? That's what I'll be talking about this whole time. Is April 1st, I'm going to start teaching some classes. It's $5 a month. You can pay in advance. And I think each class will be about an hour. We can start answering questions. What'll be cool is when someone's question is answered, you'll also be learning. So it'll be a progressive class, teaching people about how to visualize, how to manifest, how to keep track of your progress. You can make video journals, or some people like to keep journals in books. And we could learn learn a lot of cool stuff. Because I know a lot of people are taking interest in magic lately, and I'm watching a lot of videos about magic, and I'm just going to share my experiences about meditation, visualization, and how to affect your life and the lives of those around you. And oh, thank you for the like. So let's see. I guess if people have questions now, I could start. Whoever has this could be a Q&A. We could just relax a bit, and I'll try to go with the flow. See, because everyone has. What keeps me motivated is affecting people positively, because everybody seems to like, and I like being around positive people. I like being around people who are who have a good outlook and a good attitude. Most of it's attitude. If people have a good attitude, they'll go a long way. Because that way it helps them bounce back. It helps them keep going forward. It helps them to adapt, instead of being sad. That's right. What motivates me? My next meal, that's what motivates me. My next meal. Whatever I can do to make my next meal happen. And a good night's sleep. Having a good night's sleep. Yeah, I'll be teaching hypnosis, self-hypnosis, and how you can better your life by getting rid of things that are negative. A lot of people, they keep recreating scenarios and having bad memories, bad beliefs that keep us held back. Because my favorite food, pizza. Pizza is up there. Pizza and Chinese food. I like going to the Chinese buffet. Go there during lunch when they put the fresh food out, when it's lunchtime. And Chinese food, pizza. Sometimes seafood. I like seafood. I like to order the shrimp and the salmon. Oh yeah. I notice I get people from all ages. My demographic seems to be 18 and older, but I notice there's some kids that watch my videos also, and they comment on them. That's what keeps me going when the kids like my videos. Yes. A lot of that's preparation, preparation, and then how interested you are in the material. Shrimp is good, especially when you have chopsticks. Yummy, yummy. SpongeBob. That looks like a green SpongeBob. SpongeBob SquarePants. Who lives in a pineapple under the sea? So how is everyone? Everyone is here. It looks like I have 14 people and only one like. Oh well, maybe I have to work harder. I need to work harder for those likes. I need to. No good. That's right. I'm here with my red ball. I have a pretty red ball. I thought it was red glass, but it's just covered with a paint. That's what I was disappointed in. I was, ooh, I have two. Okay, two likes. Maybe they haven't shown up yet. I see only one like. I'm not gonna let it. I'm not gonna let it pull me down. You know. This is me, like that song goes. This is me. Won't let no one keep me down. That was a pretty good movie. Hugh Jackman was a ringleader. I think it was Barnum and Bailey. That's a very inspirational movie. I forget what the name of it was. It was about a circus and the evolution of a circus. I think it was Barnum and Bailey. They realized that it's better to have it under a tent, you know, instead of a building, because the tent can be moved from place to place. I've always liked watching a circus show, or fairs, carnivals. That fun atmosphere. It's always nice to get away from your work, get away from your school, and just go watch some clowns juggle, watch some elephants. What I hate is how they treat the elephants sometimes. It's kind of fun, especially when the clowns come out. All the clowns and the lady who stands on the back of a horse, you know, all the souvenirs and like candy apples, popcorn. Circuses can make a lot of money. I remember St. Jude's had a circus in California. It was like a... That's right, it's fun. Circuses. Yeah, I remember in the parking lot of the Sunrise Mall in California, they would have a circus. St. Jude would put on a circus. People would pay lots of money, bring their whole family to watch all the acts. Is that a pillow? Looks like the pillow is sleeping. Oh no, drinking hot chocolate. Kind of looks like hot chocolate. I like these emojis. They give you a wide selection of emojis. I never taught a class. It'll be interesting to learn, to learn as I go. I think what I'll do is just make it a Q&A. We could do some exercises in visualization, meditation, and journaling, so we can keep journals of our progress. Yes, it is. Enjoying some hot chocolate. So how old is everybody here? I'm 55 years old. Oh my God, I hate saying that. I hate saying that I'm 55 years old. So you're 11, okay. Well, then I'll watch my language. Oh wow, so yeah, you're 11 years old. And then there's Octone. Octone means attention. I am not old. Well, good. Thank you for telling me that. I am not old. I have matching numbers. 55. You're 32? Well, great. I remember when I was 32, many, many years ago. You have to blast. Bye. Bye. Have a great day. In the words of Bugs Bunny. Goodbye. So we'll try to keep this fun. We're going to have fun today. No apparent reason, no particular reason. I'm just doing a live stream to tell about the classes I'll be holding or having. And what's cool is it's all recorded, so if you miss a class, you could just go back. It'll be hands-on. It'll be cool. We'll be doing everything in real time. And then we're going to keep a journal. You're lonely, very lonely? Well, you don't have to be. Depending on if you're in the city or in the country. Sometimes in the country, it's harder to meet people, I guess. Especially if you live on a ranch or a farm. Or if you live near a nuclear plant. Get to wake up to radiation. I'm so lonely, lonely and sadly alone. I sing that song every once in a while. When I sit here with only one viewer or 0 viewers. But here we are. Let the fun begin. Fun time. So now we have somebody who's 32 years old. I'd like to know what's attracting kids, you know. I think they're looking at my claymation. They're looking at my animation. Sometimes it's the jokes I tell. I get kids comment on the jokes I tell. It's like, why are kids watching my jokes? It's like, if your parents only knew that you were looking at or listening to some of my jokes. I got to come up with more jokes. Right now I'm trying to juggle all the balls, you know. The balls of business. I've got to juggle the balls of business. Because you can't survive unless you're doing business, unless you're performing a good or a service, or working for a business. It would be nice if I could open a coffee shop. I got to get the startup capital together. I love coffee shops because people sit and talk with each other. Total strangers. I could open up a coffee shop and hire some people to serve people coffee while I sit in the coffee shop and talk to people. I'll be the entertainment, you know. Get myself a laptop so that I can do some streams from my coffee shop. Like I can dream, Caddy. That's kind of what I'd like to do. Have a coffee shop that has merchandise, novelties, you know, have a section of the coffee shop where people can buy novelties, magic tricks. I remember a place called Evangeline in Old Sacramento, and it was just full of novelties and magic tricks and gag gifts. That's kind of what I like to have it like a twofer. Part of the building would be novelties and magic tricks, and gag gifts and things like that. And then you walk into another part of the building and it's a coffee shop. Kind of like the Tin Bucket. There's a place called the Tin Bucket here in downtown Dallas. And it's kind of like that. They have a pool table in the back. They have a cafe to the left. And the rest is just all these different items you can buy. Oh, interesting subject. It's interesting. It's like God can take a lot of forms. If you study Chinese culture, Japanese culture, um, Nordic culture, all of them have their pantheon of gods. Like Greek mythology, they all have a pantheon of gods, and each of them have a certain job to do. And life after death. If you follow hospice nurses, they're people who who take care of the terminally ill, the people who are really old and are about to die, they have neat stories to tell. They always seem to see relatives. They always seem to see angels, or sometimes people die and then they come back and they meet their relatives, or they meet Jesus, they meet God. Some of them have interactions with God himself. So there's your evidence, there's evidence. And they say it's not an hallucination because their brain is not functioning, you know. They can leave and they see their bodies. They see their bodies and they just, they can see themselves floating over their body or standing there watching them work on their body, watching all the nurses and doctors and surgeons working on their body. And it's like they have information. Nobody knows how they got it. They couldn't possibly know. They know things people couldn't possibly know. It gives me hope. It's like, I don't feel like I could ever die. These bodies definitely die. They age and die, or we die because of an accident or a murder or something like that. But then we just keep existing. Like when you close your eyes, you still exist. When you bump your head, you still exist. It hurts for a while. These are interesting topics. I like these. Because some people believe that God is just one person. But then there's so many different experiences, People actually perform ceremonies and rituals, and they interact with the divine. But then there are those who say that we are divine. Like namaste. Namaste means I bow to the divine in you. It's a way of acknowledging that God is in all of us. Even the Christians say that, Jesus said, I and the Father are one. It's like, so you're not separate from God. You are together the same. You're one and the same. And then there's, who else said that? The Lord our God is one. It's like we're not separate. We're all unified under this deification. I think Hermes said something about we have the potential for godhood. It's kind of neat to study all these different views, And they all say, I am that I am. Or these, like, Tatwam Asi means I am that I am. Ehya Esher Ehya means I am that I am. We are all one, yeah. How we treat each other, it's like we are God having an experience. That's the way that's the way it was pitched to me one time. It's like God is the creator, and then God exists within his creation. It's like God creates a body and then he lives in it and has an experience. And sometimes we forget that. We think that we're victims, or that we are created by something else. But God is the all, the all is everything. All comes back to the all. It's kind of neat how all these different takes, you can trace them back to Hermes. You can trace the emerald tablets, the Kabbalion. You can trace all these religions back to the Kabbalion. And in fact, it says that. It says all the religions that were ever made were basically the Kabbalion retaught in different versions, different ways. In the Kabbalion, they talk about when a sparrow falls, and that's also written in the Bible. And I think Egyptian texts also. So it's like an echo. The echo from the Big Bang of spirituality came the Kabbalion. Because Atlantis was around before Egypt. And then there was Greece and Rome and all these other great civilizations. Babylonians, Sumerians. They all talk about multiple gods, Ahura Mazda, Marduk, Enki, you know, Prometheus. They all have different takes on creation. You know, how the world was created. Even the native or the indigenous people, they all have stories about how the world was created. I think it was created because we need it. We need an earth to walk on. We need air to breathe. So it exists because we need it. You know, they keep talking about intention. You know, intention. And then that word ajna. I keep thinking about that word ajna. I think it's a Hindi word for creation or to create. No, to command. Yeah, ajna means to command. And they call the third eye chakra the ajna chakra. When I point to my head, I pull my hand away, and it takes a while for the video to catch up. The ajna chakra, that's our third eye chakra, and it's the command chakra. So whenever we look at, we're causing it to be there. I think that's a story of Shiva. Shiva sat still, and then he opened his third eye, and then creation happened. I believe that's one creation story. And how we, and the observer effect, science is kind of mirroring the religion, you know, science is mirroring the religion. Because they talk about the Copenhagen experiment, the observer effect. Everything is according to the observer. So here we are with the observer, and we look at something, and things are aligned and created according to what the observer is looking at. So it shows God within us, this what we want to call God. But the all is unknowable. That's what they say in the Kabbalion. The all is unknowable. You can't really, everybody thinks they know divinity. They think they know how God thinks and how God reacts. You can have a peaceful day one day, and another day it's raining like hell. And so these are my takes, you know. I guess, like, what was that? Big Trouble in Little China? The guy was saying, you can take what you want, throw away the rest. Everybody seems to get their own, whatever works for them. I've noticed that. People use what works for them. If it doesn't work for them, they ignore it. If it works for them, they embellish it. If it works for them. That's pretty much what it is. That's the dynamic. You have to have a surface and a fulcrum, you know. That's how you can move objects. You know, you have a surface, a fulcrum, and a lever. Surface, fulcrum, and lever. And I think that's our dynamic. That's how we do things. We find our good surface, fulcrum, and lever, and we use that dynamic to move things, to cause things to happen. Like engineering. Engineering is a sign of great intelligence. Pharmakia, you know, medicine. Everyone has their medicine. Some people, indigenous people, carry a medicine bag. I like always listening to the Navajo take on things. The holy people. And how the holy people help us. Turquoise is one of the stones that are, the holy people favor you if you carry turquoise. I think that's why a lot of indigenous people have turquoise. It must be. And there's ceremonies that they do. I think we all just got hijacked. We're all hijacked. And that's what I want to do, is just team up with a lot of people who know the truth. A lot of people who are grounded and centered, who practice the beauty way. I like the Navajo when they talk about the beauty way. Beauty before me, beauty behind me, beauty above me. If you surround yourself with beauty, you can't really go wrong. I know, and if it, I don't, I don't know everything, but I kind of pay attention. If you want a good life, start being a good person. you know, I think everybody has love inside of them, and if they would only have the courage, I think if you mix love with courage, because it takes courage to say I love you, or to show that you love somebody, or to forgive. I think that's what a lot of the world would change if people just started to forgive. There would probably be no debt. There would probably be no punishment. Because punishment, I don't believe it changes a person. Punishment, people go to prison and they get let out again and they commit the same crimes. You know, punishment doesn't help anybody. It's like, oh yeah, give them a spanking, put them in jail for the rest of their life, put them in prison for the rest of their life. That'll teach them. Maybe that'll change them, you know, or give them 16 years in prison. That'll change them. But it's like what I think is people just need to. I don't believe people can be changed. The change has to come from within. That change has to come from within. Like somebody's trying to stop drinking. If they try to stop drinking because of their wife, because of their kids, they don't really stop drinking. But if they stop because of them, it's like, hey, I don't want to be homeless, or I don't want to have a messed up liver, I don't want to destroy my body. Then they really you have to be really honest. It works if you work it. Kind of reminds me of that joke about how many psychiatrists does it take to change a light bulb? One, but the light bulb has to really want to change. It's like, yeah, you have to really, I guess you're the screwer of your own light bulb. You can take that burnt out light bulb, but it has to be your hand, your actions. Because people can move mountains for you, but if you don't care, then it's not really going to help. Punishment. Oh yeah, we'll punish them. But that doesn't stop crime. Look at the Middle Ages. The Middle Ages, even now they stone people. That'll show them. We'll just stone them to death. We'll stone them to death. Which is murder. You're murdering somebody at the other end of a stone. We'll cut off their head. Like 1977, I heard that was the last beheading in France. The last beheading in France was 1977. And that doesn't stop crime. It's like they have so many horrible ways of punishing people. But what it does, it creates a crowd. It draws a crowd. People want to see a murder happen. So they just stand there and they sell food. It's like a carnival atmosphere. Watch a guy walk up the steps and have a noose put around their neck and then dropped from a certain amount of feet. They actually have a scale. Depending on how much you weigh, that's how much rope they give you. So when you drop, your neck snaps. And if they give you too much rope, your head will come off. That's pretty grim. It's like, how is that going to help society? How is that going to help society as a whole? That person was ignored. That person was mistreated probably by the rest of the group. He was outed. She was outed. She was called a witch or whatever. Yeah, we'll just march him up the steps and hang him from the end of a rope. That'll teach him. But what it does, it creates this bloodlust. It creates this idea of, oh my God, we could have watched somebody die today, which feeds the murderous intentions, All these people who have they're not committing the murder, they're watching a murder happen. Nobody's intervening. Nobody's saying, hey, And then so many people, they say they follow Jesus. Jesus said to the prostitute, your faith has saved you. Go and sin no more. They were getting ready to stone her. They were getting ready to stone this. Oh, these are two separate stories. The one was the woman caught in adultery. Somebody, some pervert caught this woman committing adultery and then brought her before the people, and they were all getting ready to stone her. They were all prepared to stone her. And then Jesus said, if any of you are without sin, they might as well just bash their own head in. If any of you are without sin, throw the first stone. And then everybody started dropping their stones and walking away. That makes me cry, hearing that story. The compassion, Jesus sought to preserve that woman, That might have been the only time she ever committed adultery. That might have been the only time she ever committed adultery. And here they are, ready to stone her to death. They're ready to, feed their murderous tendencies. They pick up those stones and they start just destroying somebody. And Jesus looked around and said, do any of these, is there anyone here that accuses you? Or something like that. And she goes, no, Lord. Wow, that makes me cry. The compassion, And that's what it wasn't it Burt Bacharach? He had a song that said, what the world needs now is love, sweet love. No, not just for some, but for everyone. There's so many songs that could just change the world if we stop and listen. What if you were caught, What if you were caught committing adultery and a whole crowd gathers, picks up stones, and are ready to just kill you with stones? That would be scary. That would be horrifying. That would be an unusually scary chain of events. You get caught doing something that people don't agree with. Maybe you're gay. Maybe maybe you've chosen the wrong religion, and it's like what they're going to do is pick up stones and just keep throwing them at you until you're dead. And it's like, would you like to be the one who got caught? God forbid. How many of us just throughout the day, commit something that is worthy of death in someone's country? You look at pornography, you smoke a cigarette, you carry a Lucky Charm with you, and that's looked at as an offense punishable by death. It's crazy. People want to hurt other people, but when it comes to them, they talk about the sinners going to hell. The sinner's going to go to hell. And it's always them. They're not going to go to hell. It's always the other person, You're going to go to hell because, But then if you were to look at your own life, if somebody were to write down everything you did from sun up to sundown, and then you compared notes with someone else, you would probably, you holding the stone are probably more worthy of that stone than the person who got caught. It just blows me away, this backwards thinking. Put someone in prison, that'll change them. And then you let them out and then kill 3 other people. Edmund Kipper, I think his name's Edmund Kipper. If you look up that guy, he killed his grandmother and his grandfather. They kept him in a psych ward for a while, and then they let him back out, and he became the co-ed killer. He killed a lot more people. Yeah, put him in the psych ward. That'll change him. It's like, I keep saying, if you cage a tiger who just killed 3 people or 1 person, and you let that tiger back out, it's going to kill more people. And it's, anyway, but that's just the way I think about it. That's the way I look at it. You know, if you can bring yourself to murder somebody, it'll be easier the next time. You can almost count on it. If somebody can bring themselves to murder somebody, it gets easier. It gets easier and easier. Just ask Ted Bundy, ask Jeffrey Dahmer, ask John Wayne Gacy, ask Ed Kemper. How easy was it for you to kill the next victim after you get it off, after you do the first murder, it becomes easier after that. So it's like, okay, this guy's boundaries are diminishing, and you're going to let him back out again? Oh yeah, we kept him for 16 years. Charlie Manson, he warned the system not to let him out. Don't let me back out there, and somebody was murdered. Now, who's responsible for that? Somebody they know is a dangerous person. The guy even warned him. Charlie warned them, don't let me back out there, because I fear I will kill again. And sure enough, it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. I think what it is like the human animal probably has a latent murderous tendency, and it's the fear of what will it's not fear of what you're going to do to somebody, it's a fear of what will happen to them. That's why they don't murder. That's why people don't murder, because they're afraid of how long they're going to spend in prison. And it's kind of like, is that I don't want people around me who are only thinking of themselves. They're not thinking about how much that knife's going to hurt or how much that gunshot's going to hurt. They're thinking about how long they're going to have to probably be in prison. They're probably thinking about what it's going to be like to have that noose around their neck, or that gas chamber or electric chair. Because if you take that away, if you suddenly write into law, you're gonna, if you murder, you're not gonna have any consequences. How many murders would there be? Because they're not concerned about the person they're stabbing. They're not concerned about the person they're choking until they're dead. So it's like they're murderers. They're just afraid of being put in prison. They're murderers. They're just afraid of the electric chair. And sometimes that doesn't even stop people. Give me the death penalty. Some of them are like, it's weird to listen to the people who are given the death penalty. The ones who are given the death penalty, they say, well, just let's get this over with. Or I'll see you in hell, or something like that. It's like, the punishment isn't stopping the crime. What's stopping the crime is, be aware, when the kid starts killing kittens, when the kid starts pulling wings off of butterflies, that's when that's a sure indicator of what he's going to be like when he gets older. Because again, the first kill is the hardest, and then after that it's easier. They work their way up. They work their way up from, pulling wings off of butterflies to tying cats together and watching them fight. Those are indicators. They ignore those indicators. They ignore them. And it's mind-boggling, because then they kill maybe your sister. They kill maybe your mother. They kill the guy that has the recipe for ice cubes. They kill the guy who has the recipe for the secret sauce, Who's laughing now? Who's laughing now? That's why they don't have ice cubes anymore in that town. The guy with the recipe died. That is interesting to think about, The only reason this guy's not killing me is because he's afraid he'll go to prison. He's afraid he'll sit in the electric chair or the gas chamber or dangle at the end of a rope. That's the only thing that's stopping that guy from killing me. It's not because he has compassion for me. It's not because he's worried it's going to hurt me. He's he's thinking of himself, which is psychologically sound, I guess, in some cases. Because if you stab somebody, you're not going to feel a thing. You're probably going to have some. You're going to have to burn your clothes or whatever. But or if you hit somebody with a baseball bat, you're not going to feel a thing. But guess what? You're going to spend 16 years, depending on if it's first degree murder, manslaughter. One guy got off because he shot a guy for sleeping with his wife. They called it temporary insanity. The guy just lost his mind. He wasn't in control of himself anymore. And he shot someone. Or the Twinkie defense. I think people remember the Twinkie defense. Somebody ate too many Twinkies. One guy drove somewhere and stabbed somebody to death, and he got off because they proved that he sleepwalked the whole thing. It's like, wow, this guy's going to get off? This guy drives somewhere and murders somebody? That sounds premeditated to me. I'm going to get in my car. I'm going to drive to this person's house. I'm going to stab him to death. Oh, but the guy sleepwalked the whole thing. He just sleepwalked. Or drunk, you know. If someone is drunk and they commit a crime, they have no recollection of the whole thing ever even happening. I think we should all just walk around with suits of armor. Or make it illegal to make knives. Or, I don't know. Have fun cutting that bagel. Have fun trying to butter that bread, because we got to take away the ability to stab somebody. That's why they rounded off the butter knife. Some king, there was a king, I guess in the Middle Ages, he ordered that all of his silverware, all the knives, all the table knives, be rounded off at the end because people were killing each other at the dinner table. That's why when you look at a butter knife, it's rounded off at the end. It's serrated. It's serrated so you can cut your meat, but it's rounded off so you can't stab anybody at the dinner table. Oh, wow. I think all of us should be put in cages until we're worthy to walk around. Walk around and shake hands with each other. But then again, how do you know what the person's going to do? You can't predict what a person's going to do. Ed Kemper, the police would have beer with him. They liked Ed Kemper. And he would sit there with them so he could learn better strategies. He was learning from the police how they think, how they act when they're looking for a murderer. And that's how he's able to elude the police. That's how he was able to fool the police. The police liked him. The psychologists, the psychiatrists that were analyzing him, they liked him. But he had this murderous tendency, and he was good at it. Ted Bundy, I guess it was the same. And what's weird is they always kill somebody who looks like the woman who wronged him. If you look at Ed Kemper, you look at Ted Bundy. They all seem to have a method of operation. Some of them, yeah. It's interesting to study this, you know. First of all, what degree, okay, what degree of your murderous tendency, because I think by nature, a lot of people just have a murderous tendency. If they could get away with it, would they do it? Those are the people that scare me. The ones that, if you could get away with murder, would you? This guy is sitting next to me eating popcorn. He's capable of murder, but he's afraid of what might happen to him if he commits murder. Just like on a plane that they think is about to go down. How do people behave? A lot of people just start praying. They start making Isn't it funny that at the point of death, everybody wants to be okay with God? Are we okay? Are we cool, God? You know, they could care less until they're about to die. That's why if you look around in a church, it's mostly old people because they know that they're going to meet their maker one day soon, and that's why the church is full of old people. They're just kind of like they want to be in good, you know. They want to finally get their lives together all the way up until they're like 40. Sin now, pray later. Sin, you sinners, until you start getting old. And then go to church, sing the hymns, pray the prayers. It's almost like church is a form of hospice, you know. Church is like, before you go, it's your last stop. My last stop is going to be at church. I'm going to finally learn how to get along with everybody, knowing that I'm going to die soon. But until then, the sky's the limit. Sin now, pray later. It's all about balance, you know. Keep a balance. Be good enough to get yourself into heaven. Be good enough to keep your job. Just be good enough. So how's everybody? This is me ranting again, I guess. I should call it Ed's Rants. Ed Rants. Thank you, sir. Well, you're welcome. Wow, you've been with me this whole time. I am impressed. I can actually capture someone's curiosity. I can. I need to remember to breathe every now and again. I have to take a breath. I get so caught up in my emotions and my ranting, and then I forget to breathe. I gotta breathe. Maybe you can tell by my face, it's changing color. Mein Gesicht. Some people are watching my videos. I've noticed that. After the stream is over, people start watching my videos. I'm up in the hundreds. Yippee. I see other people's videos are like millions of views, millions, thousands of views, and counting. But if you look at my videos, there's only like 100 of my streams. My streams don't get watched very often. Let's teach some classes. The philosophy. I'll teach philosophy. I'll teach my philosophy. Our brains are always being washed. Sometimes we miss a spot. Our brains are always being washed. If you wash your own brain, you'll probably do a better job. All right, thank you for sticking with me so long. I'm starting to see value in myself. That's how I judge my value, by how long somebody watches my stream. Welcome, welcome. Watch my descent into madness. You get to watch my gradual descent into madness as I view the world. Well, thank you. Wow, that means a lot to me. You are also good. Good people know each other. We're like a secret society. We're a secret group of good people. We just have to act like good people. Thank you. Wow. So I guess we'll be talking again one day. I'll always be here. I'll always be here. Winter, spring, summer, or fall. All you have to do is call, and I'll be there. Yes, I will. 'cause you've got a friend. I think it's time for more flute music. Flute music always seems to relax me. And remember, $5 a month, you'll be able to attend my classes. For just $5 a month, we'll get to learn together. We can become deliberate creators. We'll call ourselves the Church of the Deliberate Creator. Church of the Deliberate Creators. We're all deliberate creators. We're just creating the wrong stuff. And we're not aware of it. We're not aware of what we're creating. We're just being punished by our thoughts, like Buddha said. We will not be punished for our thoughts. We'll be punished by our thoughts. We're being punished by our thoughts. You don't believe me? Watch things as they happen. What do you think about all day? And then watch what happens. You think I'm crazy? What do you think about all day? I think people will pay attention more if they're paying $5 a month. I'm paying $5 a month to listen to this guy. I better pay attention. I keep thinking about that Zach Galifianakis joke. One day I was staying in Arby's, and I thought, oh shit, I better take somebody's order. Oh shit, I better take somebody's order. I like to repeat myself. Are you enchanted yet? I think most of my class will be about meditation. Meditation means to become familiar with. We're going to become familiar with our subconscious mind and how to communicate with it. That's what I'll be teaching. Become aware of your subconscious mind and how to communicate with it. And how to, the universe also is set up the same way, because we're a microcosm and the universe is the macrocosm. The microcosm affects the macrocosm. And so within, so without. The universe just mirrors you. And that's what I'll be teaching. The universe mirrors you. So if you're having a crappy day, check yourself before you wreck yourself. If you're having a crappy day, and I'll show you what works for me, because not everybody's the same. But I've noticed that visualization is a very good way to communicate with your subconscious mind. You can show anyone a picture and they totally understand. That's what the news is mostly. That's how we're hypnotized. We're shown pictures, we're shown video, and our subconscious mind responds to it. Even if it's happening on the East Coast and you're on the West Coast, you know, you're like miles away from something, but you're being affected as though the effect on you is as though you were there. because you're watching it happen on TV, and it's affecting you as though you were there, because the subconscious mind doesn't have that distance, time, space factor. Somebody can walk up to you and say, "Hey, a guy got shot a few miles away," and it's affecting you. What you're hearing him say or her say is affecting you as though you were there. So the subconscious mind is a lot like that. So we have to tell our subconscious mind that that's going on the East Coast and I'm on the West Coast. And then kind of pay attention to, because your subconscious mind is always taking in information, even when you're not aware of it. That's why you get those weird feelings. That's why you get those spidey senses, or traumatons. Your traumatons are activated because you meet somebody, your subconscious mind is taking in that information that you're not aware of. The things that are beyond your five senses. We all have a sixth sense, all of us. I knew she was going to say that. I knew she was going to do that. Yes, you did. And you should have paid attention. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And setting the tone, that's what we're going to learn in my classes, is setting the tone. If you're sending a strong enough vibration out, then the universe is going to mirror you. We're going to learn not to fear. We're going to learn not to be depressed. What we're going to learn is our built-in vibration sensor. We have a built-in vibration sensor. And you're going to see how much better your life is after you let go of depression, after you let go of anxiety, after you let go of fear and doubt. Because these bring on emotions. Every thought, if you think a thought long enough, it's going to set the tone for something. It's your mind garden. We're going to learn about that too, your mind garden. What's growing in, because the mind garden is very fertile. Anything will grow in the mind garden. Good, bad, ugly. It all grows in the mind garden. Because it all starts as a little seed. You have a thought, and then you keep thinking the thought. The thought is created, and then the more you think that thought, the more energy and power and it becomes magnetic. That thought you've been thinking. People are afraid that their kids are going to be abducted. They're afraid that they're going to be abducted. They're afraid that they're going to be robbed. And what you need to do is flip that thought. Flip it to, I am safe. My kids are safe. Because then it gets into the law of assumption. If you assume that everything is going to go fine, you're just going to get in your car, you're going to go down to the Starbucks, and you're going to get your favorite drink, and you're going to begin drinking it. That's the law of assumption. So now we assume the worst, and that's why the worst happens. Because it's like you're putting creation on autopilot. There's no conscious thought in your day-to-day life. And what we'll become is conscious creators. We're going to start to see changes happen. Less arguments, less depression, less hypertension, less fears. Because what we're going to do in my class is we're going to learn how to monitor our thoughts and pay attention to your built-in vibration sensor. We have a built-in vibration sensor. We can sense a low vibration. We can sense a higher vibration. A lot of it's we have to kind of force ourselves. Like when you're working out, when you're developing your psychic muscles and working them to the point where you're stronger, You don't think depressing thoughts anymore. You don't think fearful thoughts anymore. Because it becomes your default. Because sometimes it's your default. Whatever you're thinking when something bad happens, study the Count of Saint Germain. It's called the Golden Book of Saint Germain. I think I'm going to move it up. If you go to community, go to my channel, click on community, and it's the Golden Book of Saint Germain, and it is an audio book. So you can listen to it while you're bebopping around the house, folding laundry or whatever, cooking your meal, or just relaxing. And it talks a lot about that, you know, grasping the scepter. That's the analogy. Because a scepter is a scepter of power. You grasp the scepter and you start to become the creator of your destiny. Because remember, you're the creator having an experience. You're experiencing sadness, you're experiencing happiness, you're experiencing poverty, you're experiencing wealth. And if we can consciously move over to creating wealth, wealth will be our default. You open up your wallet, and money is always there. You go to your bank account, money is always there, because it becomes your default. And then it goes to the law of assumption, and then it becomes autopilot. You'll be wealthy on autopilot. I think that's what it is where your mind dwells. Be careful of where your mind dwells. Make sure that there's some cash in your wallet. And then every time you open up your wallet, you're just confirming to yourself that you have money. It can be some $5 bills, some $10 bills. Every time you look into your wallet, there's always money there. And it tells your subconscious mind, hey, I always have money. And then you feel relaxed. That's what Neville Goddard said. Feeling is the secret. Feeling is the secret. If you want to be wealthy, just concentrate on how you would feel if you were wealthy. How would you feel being wealthy? And we'll be able to take notes, be able to ask questions, because I'll be doing these classes live. And we're going to learn from day to day. And I'll make them volumes. Each one of the videos will start out with volume 1, volume 2. So if you want to go back and relearn something or remember, because we're all doing things according to memory. And then memories become facts, and facts become a limiting belief. That's what we're going to watch out for. Because we establish facts. A belief is an established fact. We establish facts, and then we run them on autopilot. Yeah, I paid all my bills, and now I got no money. I paid all my bills, and I can barely make it the next payday. And we get stuck in that. So we're going to learn how to begin. Because creation is automatic. You don't have to wait for your manifestation. The only thing that's holding up your manifestation is your default. Your default and your established facts. We'll go into our subconscious mind and go, that's not true. Anything, and then look at the things that are true. You see somebody in a big house. You see somebody who's able to pay all their bills and have money left over. That's an established fact. See, what we're doing is we're concentrating on our established facts, and they're not really facts. They're facts, but they're not constant. They're not permanent. How did you make it to today? That's what you should be asking your subconscious. How did I make it to today? Well, your subconscious allows some things because you believe it can happen. Like the fact that you still have your arm today, the fact that you still have all your fingers today, your subconscious allowed that because it's an established fact. It's a belief that you have. Maybe I'm going too far, but these are examples of established facts. The fact that you're going to open up your eyes and look out the window, those are all established facts. Then again, we have to destroy our established facts and start creating new ones. My bills are always paid. I always have food. That's another way to phrase your mantras. I always. Then that it puts it on autopilot. I always. Abraham Hicks talks about that, things always work out for me. Just keep repeating that. If you repeat something long enough and loud enough, it becomes true. You're not lying, you're in the process of creating. That's another thing we'll learn. You're not lying, you're in the process of creating. Because there's no doghouse until you start building a doghouse. You're not lying, you're in the process of creating. There's no sandwich on the table because you haven't started making the sandwich. First of all, you think of the sandwich, and then you think of how delicious it's going to be, and then you begin making the sandwich. And then that is the end result of you being a deliberate creator. I want to make some friends. I want to meet nice people. And then just assume that you're going to meet nice people. And then your subconscious is very selective. Your subconscious, you won't see the bad people. You won't see the crotchety people. You'll go right to the good people, the nice people, because it's on autopilot. There's no forethought. There's no contemplating. There's no hoping that it's going to happen because you're a deliberate creator. I'm going to meet nice people. And then you start to see the nice people because your subconscious starts selecting. It's amazing. Like people who say, all the good ones are taken. Everybody's married. I'd like to date, but everybody's married. Then you're going to start seeing a wedding ring on everyone's finger. Every girl you look at is going to have a wedding ring because you're only confirming. So I meet single women. I always meet single women. See, if you say always, it sets you on autopilot. I always meet single women. I always meet single women. I always meet a certain type of women. You can be descriptive because all the better if you're more descriptive. All the better. I always meet single women and they're always nice. And then your subconscious starts mirroring. The universe starts mirroring you. The faith of a mustard seed. You just have to believe a little bit. And then it'll get stronger and stronger because your belief will start to grow. Your faith will start to grow. We're going to learn a lot. I'm pretty excited about this. Because of the many different ways we can look at reality and how we affect it. We're not victims of reality because we won't be running on autopilot. We'll be running on autopilot, but we will program a different destination. We'll be typing in a different destination. We'll be looking at different maps. And I think that will help a lot of people for just $5 a month. I was calculating that. If I can, I have 700, over 700 subscribers right now, And if all those subscribers were to pay $5 a month, I would do pretty well. I wouldn't have to promote any online businesses. And we can grow and keep, because sometimes learning is us staying on course. We're going to stay on course. We're going to go, okay, is today better than yesterday? is this week better than last week? Am I starting to see things happen that that cause me to feel comfortable? Am I seeing things happen that make me feel better, or that show me that I am a deliberate creator? Welcome, deliberate creators. Welcome, deliberate creators. What I'll have to do is slow down and listen to their, or read their questions if they have questions. Or if, another thing is, the Bible says, and they were made overcomers by the words of their testimony. So we're going to do testimonies. I think what we'll start off with in the class is visualization. We're going to do some visualization because I really want people to become familiar with their imagination. Because you can be experiencing your imagination while you're standing in line at the supermarket, while you're standing in line for the box office, or to pay for something, or to get your birthday spanking. I don't know. You could. What we'll do is make sure that you come ahead of time. Make sure that you arrive like a couple of minutes so that we can start the class. We can go into meditation. We can go into visualization. And then if you have any questions after that, because it'll be pretty cool. You'll be evoking your own dreams. You'll be invoking your own dreams. It'll be like you're having a dream. And then when I wake you out of it, there's called the trans-termination. There's the induction, the opener, then the material, and then after that will be the trans-termination. After the trans-termination, you'll get a good idea of what it's like to cause yourself to dream. You'll be able to cause yourself, and that's the most powerful program. You'll be giving your subconscious mind a blueprint. And what's cool about the subconscious mind is it sees it in all dimensions. It sees your blueprint from the top, from the bottom, from the sides, from the emotional standpoint. It sees it all. It's like when your subconscious mind takes a snapshot, it sees it from every perspective, every facet, So that's how we'll do the class. The class will be, we'll say, hi everyone, let's all take a deep breath, let's close our eyes, and you won't be moving your physical body. You won't be moving your physical body. You'll be moving you'll be moving within your imagination, which is limitless, because in your imagination, things happen instantly, and you'll start to become aware of that. Things you say, things you do, things you think about, and how to clear your mind. Everybody's different. You'll probably find your own way because there's knowledge in there, there's skill. Most of this will be skill, You'll be learning your skill because we're going to be doing deep breathing. Breathing is very important because it gets your mind in unison with your imagination. I'm just looking. There's a window right behind you, or right behind this phone I'm looking at. It'll be, so that's how we'll do it. We'll say, hello everyone, welcome to this class. I'm your teacher, Ed, and we're going to go into, be sure you're sitting down. That way you don't bump into things, you don't fall over. Make sure that you're not going to be distracted. That's a big thing. Do not be distracted. Do not be disturbed or distracted the whole time. You'll be able to look at this video when you're not. You might be able to do this in real time, but you can always play it back. So when you've done all your chores, you've eaten your meal, you can finally shut that door and relax, and it'll be like that. We're going to go into our imagination. We're not going to move our physical body. We're going to learn about our. You are more than your physical body. Believe me, you're more than your physical body, and we're gonna we're gonna show. I'm going to show you that. I'm going to show you how to do things in your imagination, and overcome a lot of fears, a lot of worries that you have. Because I'm going to teach you how to visualize it as though it's already happened. Your bills are already paid. Your debts are paid in full. So you're bill free, debt free. Everything that you're worried about is going to be handled because you're going to see it in real time. And then you relax because once you start doing things in your imagination, that's when this 3D world starts to conform. It conforms because of the principle of correspondence. The principle of correspondence. We'll be learning about that. So within, so without. And then you'll notice all the stuff that's on autopilot. Things won't freak you out as much. You'll be able to sleep better. We might be able to decipher reoccurring dreams, reoccurring nightmares, and solve them. We can go in together. We can go in together and do certain work. It's an interesting course I'm going to be teaching. I'm so excited. April 1st is when it begins. Just $5 a month. Everybody pay $5 a month. That'll just keep me going, keep me fed and clothed and bills paid and all that. $5 a month. $5 a month. Just $5 a month. I think anybody can do that. You pay more than that for a Starbucks coffee. You pay more than that for a Big Mac. A Big Mac, what do they call those? Big Mac combo meals? A Big Mac combo meal will set you back a couple of bucks. But yeah, you'll be blessed. You'll be your life will be more manageable because you'll know how to communicate with your subconscious mind. Because it's amazing. Let me tell you that once you learn how your subconscious mind sees things, once you learn how your subconscious mind reacts to this blueprint that you're giving it, 95%, they say, of our reality is dictated by our subconscious mind. There's so much stuff that's done on autopilot because of our old established facts. What we're going to do is a ritual, maybe, because all this ties in, all of this ties in. Ritual, behavior, change of patterns. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. That's what the Bible says. I think that's Romans 12:2. Romans 12:2, I think that's what it is. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. We're going to go through a lot of that, the renewing of our minds. We're going to have a better self-image. We're going to have a better understanding of what we're doing that doesn't work. We're not doing what's wrong. We're doing what doesn't work. Like Thomas Edison. He goes, I didn't fail. I found out what doesn't work. That's what I've been doing all these years. All these years, I haven't been failing. I've been finding out what doesn't work. What doesn't work is these old established facts. We're going to overcome these old established facts, which is our beliefs, And we won't be fighting against anything. Everything will be fluent. Everything will be natural. We won't be trying to lose weight. We'll be losing weight. We won't be trying to quit smoking. We won't be smoking. Because again, the higher vibration overrides the lower one. So we're going to be using the higher. That's another Hermetic philosophy, is using the higher to affect the lower. Because it's easily overcome. A lower vibration is easily overcome with a higher one. We're going to learn how to cause higher vibrations. We're going to go from an empty wallet to a wallet that you can barely bend clothes, you know. We're going to do some visualization, you know. We're going to walk up to a counter. We're going to walk around in a store in our imagination, pick up that item that we wanted, and we're going to walk over to the counter with the cash register and all that, and we're just going to pay for what we want, you know, anything we want in our imagination. And then we're going to watch the effects of that and keep a journal, you know. Even if it's your YouTube channel, you can go to you can upload, okay, here's what we're doing, and here are the changes that I'm noticing. Here are the changes that I'm noticing after the exercise, you know. So John is here with us? Am I correct? John is here with us? I think I have to eat. I haven't eaten anything yet. I just got up. Oh. John Dove. I like that name. John Dove.
Jupiter time.
It's Jupiter time. I have this app that tells me what hour. I'm back. Hello, John. Hello, John. Welcome to Jurassic Park. Hello, John. Wasn't John one of the characters in Jurassic Park? He had such a big ego that he programmed his own name into the program. Hello, John. That was a pretty good movie. I remember seeing that in the theater. Jurassic Park. And then there was Twister. Twister was another movie that I remember seeing in the theater. That was before all these. Oh, cool. All right. Welcome back. You're ready to watch the stream. I've been telling people about my class. I'm going to be teaching a class. We're going to learn about our subconscious mind, how to hypnotize ourselves, how to go into our imagination, how to cause a dream. We're going to cause ourselves to be in a dream state, which is pretty awesome. All you have to do is sit in a chair and wait for a time when you're not going to be distracted. Ooh, that's right. Then we could learn how to hypnotize somebody else. How do you hypnotize someone else? First of all, they have to be willing to be hypnotized, because you're going to have a hard time hypnotizing somebody. A lot of it is suggestion, rapport. If you have a good rapport, it's right here. It's going to be right here. Every time you start a stream, or every time I start a stream, we're going to go through different stages during the class. We're going to do a meditation. We're going to go into our imagination, because the imagination is what's going to prepare us to go into our imagination. And then we're going to have Q&A, you know. If you have any questions, if you're, and it's only $5 a month. You can pay by, yeah, just R. What's R mean? Tell me. It's probably at this time. I'm thinking 11 o'clock. 11 o'clock my time. I'm on 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Yeah. Yeah, 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So you can count forward or backwards. And it'll be like a regular stream. So you can look at it again if you missed it. and I'm gonna number it so that if you can go back or forward, depending on where you are, and basically it's going to be cool. You're going to be able to take notes and and keep a journal. Oh, cool! That'll be nice. We're going to learn a lot because this is based on. I've been doing this kind of stuff since 1992 or 91. That's when I started taking interest in these methods, and it's kind of like magic and all that. People talk about magic and psychic abilities. You'll be able to get better at your psychic abilities. Everybody has psychic abilities, but they they sometimes need to become familiar with what they are and how to use it. Be able to walk up to people in our imagination and ask them questions, which is pretty cool. I do it sometimes. Like if I forget someone's name, in my imagination, I walk up to them and I ask them their name, and about 5 or 10 minutes later, I'll remember their name. It's almost like you're talking to them. Oh, you'll be able to chat with me. You'll be able to chat with me just like you are now. So if you have any questions, I'll be able to answer them in real time, which is kind of cool because then you don't have to wait for an email. You don't have to, wait for a, an envelope in the mail. I'll be able to do it in real time, which is kind of cool. I like this new technology. If it's private, we could probably do it through emails. I'll include my email in the description. I've got to do that. I'll have to put in the description. You'll be able to see my email. I'm going to simplify it a lot. All it'll be is the link where you can pay, and you can also see my email address. Oh yeah. We'll work on overcoming depression, overcoming anxiety. It's on the 1st of April. So right now I'm kind of letting people know about it. So April 1st is when I can start it. And like I said, if you happen to miss the class, you can always go back in, and it'll be numbered, class 1, class 2. And I'm going to probably make it an ongoing class. And people can stop anytime, because they'll feel they've learned it enough. They don't need to get redundant or repetitive, and they can come back at any time too. Like if they want refresher, they want to learn how to do it. You ever watch Sucker Punch? The movie Sucker Punch? It's kind of like that. How when she's standing on stage and then she goes into her imagination and suddenly she's on the battlefield and she's fighting samurai, giant samurai. And another one is Dreamscapes. There's a cool movie with Dennis Quaid. It's called Dreamscapes. I think the government does that stuff too. They call it remote viewing. People go into their imagination and they're able to see locations, able to spy on people. So it's kind of fun. But what I can do is, since you're off for spring break, I can start doing some. And again, yeah, it's only $5 a month. I'll have it set up tomorrow, so you can go in the description and pay. And I think we'll learn a lot. It'll be cool. We'll learn all these techniques, all these exercises, how to remind yourself of things. Like we'll get ourselves into a state of being, and then we'll be able to trigger that state of being, like in a meditative state. And what we'll do, it'll be simple as touching your middle finger to your thumb, and that'll trigger your hypnotic state, and you'll be able to visualize something happening. And it's cool because everything you visualize in your imagination, it's instant, and anything goes. And you'll be able to be more in touch with your psychic ability, you know. because it'll be all on demand. It'll be pretty cool. One of the meditations is of a sphere, a ball. You'll visualize a ball at the any color you want it to be, and you'll be able to make that ball float in your imagination. You'll be able to throw the ball and it'll come back to you. And once you get more vivid in your imagination, it'll be more easy for you to imagine things. And it's because your subconscious doesn't know the difference. You know, you can imagine that you're able to fly, you know, and you'll just leave the ground in your imagination. That's what we're doing when we're dreaming, when we're having a dream. Maybe that's what we'll do. Yeah, because if people miss it, you know, they'll just be able to go to class one, class two. I'm just trying to get people prepared, you know. So I think we can probably start it tomorrow, you know, and then I'll put a short out saying we've already started the class, you know, and yeah, we've already started the class, and you can catch up, you know, if you know that you can be there April 1st. I just think April 1st would be a cool time to start. Yeah, we'll do that. So maybe tomorrow at 11 o'clock, we can start doing some exercises, and then we'll start to get familiar with how we talk to our subconscious mind and how to speak, you know, speak and make things happen. And or if you really want something, we'll show how to make it happen in your reality. Everybody's talking about that. Manifestation is what they call it. Manifestation. How to manifest something. I'm going to do like a tennis ball. We'll do a tennis ball meditation. In our imagination, we'll imagine a tennis ball in our hand. You know, what does it look like? What does it feel like to hold that tennis ball? And then date it. You know, date the time we do the meditation, and when you see a tennis ball in your reality, when you're holding a tennis ball in your hand, and then kind of date it, you know, we did the meditation on this day, and I'm holding a tennis ball on this day. I did that with a quarter. I was visualizing a quarter, and then I think in one of my earlier streams I showed the quarter. Maybe we'll start out with a quarter, you know, something small. We'll just say, imagine a quarter in the palm of your hand, and then just look at it. What's the date on that quarter? How heavy is it in your hand? And then what we'll do is we'll write down the time we did it, and then when we all find a quarter, oh, you're 11? Well, cool. You'll be able to start early then. Yeah. I'll be able to say, hey, all ages, you know, if you're able to watch a video, you're old enough to learn. Yeah, you're old enough to learn these techniques. I wish I knew this stuff when I was a kid. I'd be making $5 bills appear. I'd be making candy appear. That'd be cool. We'll do that. What I'll have to do is set it up so that in the description you can pay, and also contact me through emails. Then I'll probably get a ton of emails. You're 12 years old? Your dad? I'm 12 years old, my dad. So yeah, that'd be cool. I'll be able to teach people of all ages. We'll learn different skills and techniques, and I think a lot of it's skill. Everybody's going to have to learn at their own pace and find out what works for them. Because this won't be a cookie cutter school. What's cool is when I manifested that quarter, you know, it wasn't the right date, but it was a quarter, you know, it still worked. Or even somebody you haven't seen in a while, we can do that. If it's somebody you haven't seen in a while, or somebody you'd like to see again, We'll do a visualization. We'll go into our imagination and visualize that person talking to us and hanging out. And then we'll write down when it happened, or when we did the meditation, and then we'll write down when it happens. Oh yeah. People are playing around with our imagination and we don't realize it. Every time you read a book, every time you watch a movie, they're playing with your imagination. Like when you go to watch one of those Avenger movies, you know, they're playing with your imagination. Quit playing with my imagination. Or when you're sitting in a room and it's dark, you start to imagine spooky things. You start to imagine, and then you start to notice spooky things, you know. But we won't do that. We will start protecting ourselves. That's what we'll do. We'll imagine a force field. I think Star Wars used force fields. Or another one was War of the Worlds. War of the Worlds was a good one. The one that was made in the 50s. The aliens, they had this dome over them, and it protected them from outside attacks. They were able to just turn on this force field, and when they shot at them, the bullets would bounce off, the rockets would bounce off. So we'll do that. Maybe you'll be my first student. You'll be one of my first students. I'll have to get busy doing that. I have to eat anyway. So around 11 o'clock tomorrow, see if you can get some people to join in. You know, we'll get some people to join in. We'll do this a big class. And it'll all be on YouTube. You won't have to drive anywhere. You won't have to ask for a ride. You won't have to ride a kangaroo. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I guess that's what I'll just say goodbye for now, and I'll get busy doing my homework. And we'll see you tomorrow at 11. We can start. Maybe you can get some other people to join, you know, or at least watch, and then start noticing all the changes that happen. This is all very real. All right, I've got to eat. I've got to eat or I'm going to start feeling shaky. So have a good day.